If you want financial freedom, time freedom, and want to leave a legacy for generations to come, you probably have heard real estate investing is the place to do that. How do you get started? What do you have to do? When's the right time? If you are looking for those answers, you've come to the right place. My name is Kyle Stanley, and this is Fearless Flipping. My mission is to help you learn this business and conquer real estate investing. Hey, you're checking with the Fearless Flipping podcast. I'm Kyle Stanley. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, drop a review down below. If you drop a review down below of how this has helped you in your efforts to become a great real estate investor and conquer real estate investing, we will definitely be giving you a shout out on the next podcast. So let's check in with Stratton Brown. This is the second episode we've had with him. In the first episode, you learned all about his backstory. Young, ambitious, 24 years old, killing it here in Fresno with becoming a wholesaler. And he and I have done a deal before, which is even more credibility to him. But when it comes down to the art of wholesaling and really cold calling, that's what we're going to be talking about. Stratton is very good at cold calling. He knows exactly how to be able to get down into the depth of figuring out what that seller needs in order to make a deal work. And so you're going to learn exactly from him today on how to be a master cold caller. Cold calling, everyone's favorite thing, right?
Everyone's favorite thing.
People can't wait to get on the phone with a complete stranger and maybe hear the words F you or go to hell. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But if you want to be a wholesaler, if you want to be in real estate investing as a flipper or anything along the lines of finding deals, it's just something like what Matt Garabedian says: if you can't do cold calling, you probably don't belong in this business. So what we're going to do is we're going to help you master cold calling today with my good friend Stratton here. Stratton and I have done deals before. If you missed the first episode, Stratton has a great story of resilience and just getting past so many different no's, so many different peaks and valleys of his business. But right now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, which is the cold calling part. But before we go into the actual picking up the phone and dialing the number, we got to figure out where are we finding these lists. And I feel like there's a lot of different ways out there to find them, but what's working for you?
So we have a driving for dollars list, and I'd suggest if you're in California, get Property Radar. It's what my entire business runs out of.
Just in California?
California, Nevada,
okay,
Arizona, Oregon. It's along certain states in the West Coast, so not in Utah quite yet.
Okay.
But they give me all the info I need.
Nice.
And so they have a great driving for dollars app, so I can drive and I can go look. And I'm driving and I pull over and I just click the property and it'll let me make a list and throw that property in there.
How much does that cost you?
$80 a month.
Okay.
$80 a month, super cheap.
Very, very small.
Yeah.
Okay. So you drive in or you find, actually, let me ask you that. Is most of what you're using Property Radar for when you're driving, or are you just, you got an hour today to do some marketing, are you starting on Property Radar?
So I start my marketing by breaking down zip codes and everything else, and that's a completely different episode of identifying where I want to go, who I want to target, and everything else. Then at that point, I make the list on Property Radar and I export it.
Okay.
I make multiple Property Radar accounts. If you're going to go above 10,000, it'll save you a little bit of money.
Okay.
And then at that point, you send it into a data provider.
Okay. And what does that data provider do?
They'll give you 10 emails if they can, 10 phone numbers, and they'll identify which ones are mobile and which ones are landlines.
Okay.
And then VoIPs.
So essentially what you're saying is you're finding the property, but then these data providers are the ones that are giving you the contact information.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Property Radar does have phone numbers. They're awful.
Okay.
Don't waste your time. Some people are like, oh, I call off Property Radar. That's probably where you're going wrong. It's like White Pages data, and White Pages isn't very good either.
So what is the information that Property Radar is giving you then?
I get all the mortgage info, comps if I need them. If you don't have MLS access, Property Radar has great comps. Age, equity. What else do I get? Transaction history, foreclosure data. It's like everything.
Cool. So I want to press the pause button for a second and just kind of speak to our audience here, because the reason that I'm asking a lot of these questions is because I want them to understand where your business is at, where your mind is at, where your processes are at. But the other reason is because literally I don't use Property Radar. I don't know about it because for me, my business model is different than Stratton's. Stratton wants to talk directly to the seller, wants to be able to get these properties at a way below market value so that he can wholesale it to people like me. I, on the other hand, my business is I want to build up as many Airbnb properties as possible and get flips on the side. And so I'm putting most of my time into finding properties that are going to give me cash flow. And then I'm creating relationships with people like Stratton that are bringing me deals so that I don't put my time and money into those types of things. They might be thinner deals than what you're getting, but that's my business model. So for 1 second here, A, do you agree with that? That everyone's business model is going to be a little bit different, and B, why is that the right fit for you versus maybe what I'm doing?
I honestly, so some people, I know the people Adam works with, they get 100 deals a year all from realtors. They don't go any direct to sell or anything else, and it's the same thing.
Right.
And they do a bunch of flips, all from realtors.
On the MLS or
off the MLS, off market, they've built relationships, same thing, and then they just have people bring them deals.
Okay.
For me, I just like it because I don't want to flip, honestly. I don't feel like it. I feel like the market's at a peak where it's like, well, it doesn't make sense for me unless it's a huge spread, and then I'll go to someone like, hey, let's split these profits. But generally, if we can buy deep enough, I don't see the reason.
Gotcha.
Where are we going with this?
Yeah, just I mean that you pretty much answered it right there. That's why you work your business the way you do. You see it that way, and I see it another way, and that's why we work it our separate ways, right? But that's also what's great about working together is that you fill in those gaps that I'm not doing, and vice versa. So back to the cold calling thing. Sorry to go off on a tangent there, but what I want to know is, okay, so you've got the data, you've got the phone number now, and you're getting on the line with that very first person. What does that script look like? What are you saying to them?
So we use two different ones. It just depends. Honestly, when I'm cold calling myself, I haven't done it in a while, but it just depends on what I feel like. I was like, hi, I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street. I've been trying to get a hold of him for the last few weeks. Do I even have the right number? And that way, when you go a little bit not okay, they want to help you.
Okay.
And they're not going to be like, oh, what? Sure. Quit calling me.
Kind of start off soft.
Yeah, start off soft, and that way they want to help you. Or I've done the way it's like, oh, hey, John, this is Stratton. My partner and I is looking to buy a property over by yours on 123 Main Street. Have you thought about selling it at all? And then it'll just go one way. Okay.
So assuming it doesn't go the don't call me again way, they say, I've been a little bit interested, or your timing, is actually pretty good. I'm thinking about selling. Where does it go from there?
So I'm like, awesome. Honestly, could you just tell me a little bit about the property so I could put something together for you? I'd love to just come look at the property and see what I could give you. And then you just start going into, we have like a 2-page script of just questions. We want to pull out motivation, condition of the property, timeline, and that way we can qualify it to, oh yeah, I want to sell, but then they want $300,000 for a $200,000 house. Okay, let's try and refer it to a realtor.
Okay. Do you do a lot of that?
We try to, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I think what you just said there, your script, it's saving you a lot of time. You're not going out to these properties if you know it's not already fit within the first couple minutes, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we go timeline, motivation, property condition, and price are like our 4 big qualifiers. And we try and meet at least 2 of them. If we meet 2 of them, then we'll actually like give it some, okay, yeah, this sounds like we should follow up with them, set up a phone call, and that's what texting, I mean. But like, okay, let's go on an appointment. But I mean, if anybody's really over 90 days, I think it's a waste of time, and we'll just kind of throw them back in the dialer and we'll hit them a different time.
Okay. Hey, Fearless Flipping community, let's hear from one of our sponsors right now. Have you thought about becoming a real estate investor, but you have no money, or maybe you just don't feel like you have the right guidance, the right system, or maybe the right plan? Well, the Phenom Investor Blueprint course is your answer, developed by 7-figure earner Matt Garabedian and a good friend of mine. Matt uses his 10-plus years of real estate investing knowledge to teach you how to get involved with real estate investing without spending a dime. Matt's wholesaling techniques will work for any market at any time. So if you want to make 6 figures, 7 figures, or more, yeah, that's right, it's possible. It's time to invest in yourself. Check out the Phenom Investor Blueprint at fearlessflipping.com/phenom. Again, that's fearlessflipping.com/phenom. This is your first step to financial freedom. fearlessflipping.com/phenom. So how much follow-up after that first, hot lead call are you doing?
It depends on the deal, but there's usually a lot of follow-up. Cold calling leads take a while. Like, oh yeah, like I've thought about it. Well, let's talk about it. I never give an offer over the phone. I usually don't throw out anything unless someone's pissing me off. Well, how much are you gonna give me? How much are you gonna give me? Like, okay, I'll give you 30 grand. And like, oh
Just see what
no,
happens.
well that's
Okay.
not going to work. Oh, well, what would you have to be at?
Yeah.
And then like, oh, I was looking for this. Like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then you can transition it there. But the only reason these people are talking to you is so they can know how much they can get for their property.
Sure. Absolutely.
That's the only leverage you have. Once you give that away, then there's no reason for them to associate with you whatsoever if they don't like it.
So are you usually waiting until the appointment then?
Yeah, we've started to go a lot more just all over the phone, to where we buy everything over the phone, unless it's like a PPC or a notice of default lead, to where we know we can go and then lock it up and we want to try and do something creative. But besides that, yeah, we're locking it up over the phone.
Okay. When you say you have a lot of follow-up, is it mainly phone call follow-up, or do you have any email, texting follow-ups, anything like that?
I'll send them a text to follow up,
Mhm.
and everything else. Email, not as much. We need to get better at collecting their emails. Phone calls, and then one thing that can kind of be a trap is you get a bunch of, oh, call me in 6 months, and then you have 30 of those in your pipeline,
Sure.
and you're calling a bunch of people who really aren't that interested in selling,
Got it.
and you haven't really qualified them good enough. And you're like, well, I got this full pipeline, and it's really not that full. It's full of a bunch of D class leads when you want a bunch of A and Bs.
Okay. What kind of, I mean, that to me, I think about follow-up, and I think I've got to be organized with that. What kinds of systems or software are you using for follow-up?
Podio.
Podio. Okay.
Yeah, we use a Podio account.
Tell me about Podio.
It's sneeze. It's a project management software that we use. It didn't start as a real estate investing platform, but a bunch of people have started using it.
Okay.
And so we use that. When a lead comes in, it'll automatically populate, and we get all their information, and then we can see, okay, we called them 30 days ago. They need to be touched again within this next 30 days to 2 weeks. And so that's pretty much what we use it for. We put in all the property info, square footage, everything else. If the offer's been made, any details about the conversations whatsoever. And then if the conversation's recorded, we attach that as well.
Is it notifying you when you need a follow-up, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll just set a task when the call's done. I'll just set a task. Okay, you want to follow up with them in 2 weeks, maybe a day. They said, hey, follow up with me tomorrow. But with this, we're selling one to Michael Zuber, 2 houses. I called him in February. It's going through now.
Wow.
And it's just been like follow-up, negotiation, follow-up. We've been in escrow for like a month, and it's still been follow-up to get inside the properties to close on the property.
Oh my gosh.
Because we just bought them sight unseen.
Wow. And okay, so I guess that kind of is a good transition. So you got, let's just take this one for example. You got this guy on the phone. Did an appointment happen, or was it a bunch of follow-up before the appointment?
There was a bunch of follow-up, and I did give up an offer over the phone. He was like, oh yeah, maybe. He's like, okay, I can do that. And he's like, oh, I don't need the money right now. And so it's just follow-up, negotiation, and then I was like, you know what, Perry, I'm looking at a house down in Hanford. Either I'm going to buy that one or I'm going to buy this one. Are you still looking to sell? He's like, oh yeah, I'm looking to sell. I was like, all right, I'll just bring over the paperwork. He didn't have an email. So I took over a contract to his house, talked to him for an hour, and bought 2 houses.
Wow. And that was the first time you met him in person?
Yeah, that was the first time I met him in person, and then, yeah, we were done from there.
Okay. So you've gotten this down to a little bit of a system where it sounds like you're able to close a lot over the phone, but if you do have to get to that appointment in person, what does that look like?
I'll go there, meet him, talk to him, put him kind of through the same thing. I want to ask him the same probing questions and everything else, bring out as much motivation as possible and qualify him even more. And yeah, pretty much that's all. And then I'm bringing the contract, and then I'm usually just, yes is good, no is okay too. If it's a no, if it's a maybe, it's probably a no. That's fine. We'll just have to follow up you in a month when we have more money available.
Okay. I think a lot of people in the beginning, I've talked to people who have said, yeah, I've been doing this for 9 months, and I'll ask them, well, how many deals have you gotten? None. Well, how many offers have you put in? None. Well, then you're not really doing this. So,
yeah.
But a lot of people get paralyzed by, oh my gosh, like putting in an offer. What happens if I put in an offer and I'm wrong on the numbers or whatever? There's all this fear that comes up of like actually putting in that offer. So what can you say from just a either a preparation standpoint, research, or just a confidence of knowing what to offer and understanding what that's going to mean for the seller?
Send them to another investor. At our meetup, we tell everybody, hey, just send us, if you're going to make an offer on a property, send it to me first. We'd rather you evaluate it and find out, like, oh no, I was going to offer him 120 when I can only offer him 70.
Right.
I'd rather you have to go through that with me than have to go through that with the seller.
Exactly.
And then you lock up a bad deal, you send it out, you get crickets, and then you're just shit out of luck. It'd be a lot easier if you're just like, hey, Strat, I'm going to make an offer on this property. What should I do? What do you think it's worth? Absolutely. Awesome, man. Honestly, I'd be here. And I do that a lot with a lot of people. Just like, hey, if you are going to offer, I'd be here. Your comps are a little bit high. You kind of maybe cross the wrong street or something else like that. That's what I think the best thing is to do, or do the Jason Pritchard approach and just kind of cut the Zillow price in half and offer them.
Cut the Zillow price in half? I haven't heard about that one. So you just take the Zestimate and just cut it in half?
Yeah, take the Zestimate and cut it in half.
Okay.
If you really have no other access, but you can find comps on Zillow on ones that have sold.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
The lower the better.
Yeah, no, 100% right.
The lower the better.
Okay, so the thing I just want to point out there is that having someone, a go-to person, they're all around. People just need to open their eyes and see, hey, even if, like we said in the first episode, I'm in Podunk, Iowa, there's no one doing this. I guarantee there's someone doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you there's going to be meetup groups. I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of community there that they can go to get that help. So if there is someone out there right now that is being paralyzed by fear or by just not knowing what to take as the next step, I just hope that they see this story of yours, especially in the first episode, of just that resilience and just going for it, and get that excitement to actually go for it and just do it. So when they do just go for it and do it, what's your biggest number one advice for them?
Network and like talk to other people. And I mean, just reach out. I had to call Pritchard the other day because I got 2 houses on one lot in Madera and I had no idea what to do with it. And so I was like, Pritchard, have you bought anything like this up there? I'll sell you the property if you can help me out with it. And I mean, I sacrificed a little bit, but it builds our relationship more.
Absolutely.
And then it helps me, okay, for the next one, if we get something like this, we know how to evaluate it. But I still even run into problems like that where I can't find any comps. There's nothing I can see. I go to someone who knows more about the market than I do and ask. That's
awesome. So good. If people do want to reach out to you, get in contact with you, follow you on social media, how can they do that?
Follow me on Instagram, StratDaddy, 2 T's, 2 Y's. It's usually just pictures of me and my son. What else? And that's probably the best way to reach me. Just shoot me a message.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
Awesome. Hey, Strat Daddy, thank you so much. I'd shake your hand, but you're sick. So, but hey, thank you so much for helping our audience conquer real estate investing. You are awesome.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, if you want to continue to master your cold calling habits and scripts and everything that will help you to be able to get more deals, make sure to check out the show notes. fearlessflipping.com/Stratton, STRATTON. That is it for Fearless Flipping this week. We'll check you next time. Go conquer real estate investing.